Alright, our next segment, inconsistent refereeing ruins the integrity and interpretation of football rules. And now you may be wondering what I mean by that. What I mean is that refereeing is so bad and inconsistent nowadays that because the rules of the game has always been open to interpretation to a point. The refereeing is so bad and inconsistent that it's allowed that grey area, that interpretation, to become so large to the point where the same thing can happen in two completely different games and warrant two completely different decisions. And I'll get onto that, but let's look at a certain controversial decision first that will allow me to get into it. So in the Newcastle Jets versus Macarthur Bulls game, Sawyer pulled on the Jets player's shirt. People were saying both players were pulling, but I think it was a foul. I think it's just clear and simple foul. Sawyer just pulls him out of the way and scores a goal. I'll play the clip and let you decide for yourself first, and then we'll talk more on it.
Still the Jets. Day here for a free kick. Cooper, was he given a tug there by Sawyer? Play on here for the Bulls. Vickery to win it. He's done it. In the last minute, Luke Vickery.
Alright, make of that clip what you will, but what I make of it is that it was a clear and obvious foul. Everyone always brings up both players pulling, but you can't just do that. You can't just, because then how far can you push it? Because the Jets player is grabbing onto Sawyer's shirt, can Sawyer just grab the Jets player and just drag him across the entirety of the pitch? Can you drag him the length of the pitch? Because if you're gonna say that's not a foul, then you can't say that's not a foul. In essence, but the reason why I think they didn't call that clear and obvious foul, in my opinion, and people trying to justify it, but you have to admit it was a clear and obvious foul. The reason why they didn't do that is because, well, not the actual reason. This is all alleged, suggesting that they're trying to push a story or a narrative. Now that sounds completely insane and stupid, but after you hear what this kind of comparison, maybe you'll change your mind on that. So let's look at this hypothetical here. Melbourne City are in a grand final, and Melbourne Victory are playing, let's say Western Sydney Wanderers in the semi-final. Western Sydney, it's tying, it's 2-2. Western Sydney Wanderers in the last minute get the ball. Then the Jets player tackles them, and they both have hands on each other. The Jets player, the same thing Harry Sawyer does, pulls them away, gets the ball, goes on to score a goal, and that's called a foul. Because if Wanderers don't go on to win that game and don't go on to the final against City, it'll be Victory. And if Victory go on to the final, it's a Melbourne Derby final. It's more tickets sold, it's more hype, and they're pushing that narrative. And I think that's what's happened, because in the Macarthur game, obviously, Macarthur went on to win it because they were pushing a narrative that it was a 5-4 thriller with a last-minute goal at the end. It's not a 4-4 game. It's way more hype if Macarthur is a payoff at the end. If Macarthur go on to win the game 5-4 because they get a last-minute goal. And in different circumstances, it's called a foul because you want different outcome. And by the way, I'm not saying this is true. I'm just suggesting that this is for everyone else to interpret. I'm just suggesting it, just throwing it out there. The only actual evidence, the only you can just say it's just terrible reffing, which is definitely true. For example, Naboo ran over Will Freeney in the City vs Perth game. I have no idea how that wasn't called a foul. Should be, in my opinion, a yellow card, because you can't just do that off the kickoff. Just run over some 19-year-old kid when you're in your mid-30s. You can't just do that. How does the referee not pull that up? No, not even a foul, not a card, not a foul. It just lets him just barge some kid over, and then just play on. How do you not call that a foul? It was off the ball. It's pretty stupid. And we've seen so much more bad decisions and inconsistency mainly. Like in the Melbourne Victory vs Wellington game, where Victory thrashed Wellington 5-1, Wellington were denied a penalty back when the game was still kind of up in odds. Corbin Piper was through on goal, and he was straight up fouled by Diorigo. I think it was Diorigo. He tried to hook the ball back. He tried to hook it from under Piper's feet. Completely missed the ball. Just fouled Piper, and no penalty. And even if he said that he got the ball with his other foot, he didn't mean to do that with his other foot. He didn't mean to tap the ball with his knee, and then because obviously he tried to hook the ball with his left foot, and he fouled Piper. And even if it weren't for his left foot fouling him, that little touch of his thigh, if it even happened, wouldn't have mattered because it just touched it. Piper would have still scored into that open net. It's pretty much an open net, especially when Jack Duncan's in goal. I was kidding. I actually like Jack Duncan. That was a joke. But there's that, and then after that, literally right after that, Victory were denied a goal for offside by the tiniest toenail. It was like Virgos or something. And it was leaning over with his shoulder or something. And it was this which decision would Giancarlo Italiano blow up about? Would he blow up about a clear foul in the box not being given, or would he blow up about Virgos's shoulder being passed? Obviously, he didn't even notice that, and he wouldn't even care if I was given a goal because it should be a goal. But then the penalty was a stonewall penalty. It's literally if there's a rule book that you put that in the rule book, that's a stonewall penalty. He's about to score a goal, and then the player comes in and just fouls him before he can score. Which one would he blow up about? A clear and obvious pen, or a goal given for a borderline offside? Another thing, handballs. Panazopoulos in the last derby, he handballed it in the box. I think it should have been a penalty. It no matter natural position, no matter none of this, if it's a shot on goal, on target, and it hits his hand, it's automatically, I don't care, it's automatically a penalty. Because if it's a shot on target, the keeper could fumble it. Even if it's straight to keeper, it could fumble it, it could go in, it could take a deflection, it could go in. The keeper could be unsighted. It's all these scenarios, because it's a shot on target, it could be a goal. And even worse, Grant and Ryan Grant, some past derby, the same thing. He went to slide in or something, and it hit his hand because he's using his hand to support himself, or his just hand was out, I think, and it hit his hand. It was going to be a certain goal. Redmayne was stuck on the line. It was about to go into the corner, and it just hits his hand. And they say no penalty because it was supporting him or his natural position, but it was going in the goal. It was about to go in the goal. I don't care if it was natural. The rules are the ball can't touch your hand, and it hits his hand and it blocks it from going in the goal. If that was on the line, it's a penalty. And I don't know why it's any different if it's in the penalty spot, for example. I think the handball rule just has too many technicalities tied into it. You should just judge it by common sense. All these technicalities, supporting you, natural position, all it does is just convolute the rule and make it too hard to judge, to the fact where you get decisions like that. If you just judge it with common sense, the ball was going into the goal, you blocked it with your hand, don't care if it's supporting you, don't care if it's in a natural position, if it was about to go in the goal. By the way, it's different if it's not going in the goal. This is solely if it's going in the goal. Nothing, take everything out of the equation. It's going in the goal, hits your hand, penalty. It's different if it takes a deflection into your hand that you can't do nothing about. It's not on target. Anyways, as I said, too many. So many technicalities. So convoluted. It's just too hard. It's too hard. And don't get me started on straight red cards given too easily. I said it earlier when I was talking about Brisbane Roar. I'll say it again now. Valkanis, Clapping should not be doing this sarcastically. Should not be a second yellow. as I said with Jorrit Hendricks, red card, straight red card for absolutely nothing. Refs just want to give it. I'll get over this quickly because I talked about it earlier, but they just want to give red cards. And the red card has been devalued. The point of the red card was that the player was too violent, or their challenge was too violent to the point where you had to get them off the field before they started hurting somebody. And do you really think that that's what's happening nowadays? Obviously, you need the red card, you need to give red cards. And obviously, last man studs up 2-footed challenge into the knees, straight red card, but it's been so taken out. It's out of control.